We all know transfers are an integral part of the modern game, with the strength of a team's recruitment often coming to define their season. The great pieces of business are well known, as are the multi-million pound flops. What about those deals that were just downright weird? Here, HITC Sevens takes a look at some of the strangest pieces of business to have taken place in the history of the beautiful game. Paul Gascoigne. It takes a lot for Paul Gascoigne to shock us. This is the man who turned up with a can of lager and a fishing rod at the standoff between police and Raoul Moat after all. The former England star, who is gifted and troubled in equal measures, may have been 37 when he linked up with then League Two side Boston United, but it still came as a shock to many. Gazza rejected a contract from MLS side DC United and had just had a spell in China when he joined the English Minnows. Boston were proved to be the Ballon d'Or nominee's last professional club, and it wasn't a match made in heaven. Gascoigne played 5 times, failing to score, and departed his role as player-coach after 3 months due to personal reasons. Julien Faubert to Real Madrid. Alfredo Di Stefano looked as shocked as the rest of us to see Julien Faubert announced as a Real Madrid player. The Frenchman had been a decent utility player for the Hammers, but not a lot else. Nevertheless, Real forked out £1.5 million to take Faubert on a season-long loan, during which time he made just 2 appearances, missing training once and famously being pictured asleep on the bench for Los Blancos. He returned to West Ham in the summer of 2009, with Real Madrid seemingly uninterested in making the signing a permanent one. Fortunately for Real, they did manage to bring in Cristiano Ronaldo and Kaká that same summer, and just about coped without Faubert. Edgar Davids to Barnet. A tenacious, dynamic and explosive central midfielder with the ability to break up play and drive forward with the ball, Edgar Davids won the Champions League and league titles in both the Netherlands and Italy. Naturally then, it was only a matter of time before he donned the famous black and amber of Barnet FC. Well, he did, anyway, signing for the League Two side as a player-manager in 2012. Relegated from League Two, the all-time great ended up strutting his stuff in the conference, where he was sent off 3 times in his first 8 games. All in all, Davids played 38 games in less than 2 seasons for the Bees. Sol Campbell to Notts County. Sol Campbell has been involved in a couple of transfers that have shocked the British game, initially when he became the world's first £100,000 a week footballer, in a controversial move from Tottenham Hotspur to North London rivals Arsenal. He went a step further in 2009 though, signing a 5-year deal with Notts County at the age of 35, where he reunited with former England manager Sven-Göran Eriksson. "I was being a mug," Campbell later said of the move. He played once for Notts County, his contract being cancelled 3 days after he'd signed. Ronnie O'Brien to Juventus. Into the top 3 and into truly mind-boggling territory. The move of Ronnie O'Brien to Juventus is one of the strangest the game has ever seen. The uncapped Irishman was released by Middlesbrough in 1999, then aged 20, and had never played a professional football game in his life. Who should come calling then? None other than Italian giants Juventus, of course, offering O'Brien an incredible 5-year deal. He never played for the old lady, being loaned out 4 times in his 3 years at the Stadio del Alpi. O'Brien went on to have a decent career in the MLS. George Best to Dunstable and Jewish Guild. At the age of 22, George Best had won 2 league titles, the European Cup and the Ballon d'Or. He had, quite literally, the world at his feet. Blessed with all the talent in the world, Bestie beat players at will, but his career was as good as over at the highest level, in his mid to late 20s. In 1974, Best went on loan, first to South African side Jewish Guild and then non-league side Dunstable. He left United for good at the end of the season, becoming a serial journeyman, making 17 moves over the next 9 years. At the age in which Best should have been hitting his prime and proving himself as one of football's greatest ever players, he was missing training sessions and looking uninterested for minnows across the globe. Socrates to Garforth Town. It's still hard to believe that the great Socrates really did turn out for 9th tier English non-league side Garforth Town. A wonderful midfield playmaker, Socrates was an icon of the 1980s, and a star of Brazil's famous 1982 World Cup team. His club days were best spent with Botafogo and Corinthians, but in 2004 he came out of retirement to complete the most bizarre transfer the game has ever seen. The man nicknamed the Doctor signed a 1-month player coaching deal with the Yorkshire club, which saw him make just one appearance, coming on 12 minutes from time against fellow Yorkshire minnows Tadcaster Albion. So that's our top 7. Honourable mentions go to Tyrone Mears to Marseille, Kevin Keegan to Southampton, Nicholas Bentner to Juventus, Craig Davis to Hellas Verona, Jimmy Greaves to Barnet, Claudio Caniggia to Dundee, and Ali Dyer to Southampton. Let us know in the comments section below the transfers that shocked you the most.